we go. I love rolling chairs. I'm doing it on a rolly chair tonight. I'm very excited. I feel like I like the rolling chair. So I might do this a little bit during the show just to bug you out. Welcome to the Steve Squared Show. I'm your host on the wheels, Funny Man Stevie K. It is November 18th, 2024. For those of you keeping track at home. November 18th, and let me tell you, let me share with you something. Let me just share with you something. It is, at this moment, 58 degrees. I mean, global schmobal, warming schmorming. I'm not scared. I love global warming. You could tell, I understand we need rain. I understand droughts. I understand brush fires. I get it. But I also understand that my hands in the winter get so dry and freezing and get so bad. And before you tell me to use lotion, you smarties out there, I do. So thank you for your help, my squares. But it just happens once the winter cold weather kicks in. So this is saving me. I am not a cold weather person. I understand all of the ramifications. I get it. We're not going to be able to drink water. It's not going to happen. You're going to be... I better stock up on my Celsius now, and that'll be the only liquid fluid I have. But, look, it's going to rain eventually. And when it does, it does. Don't panic. It's kind of like when you start fixating on something, it doesn't happen, right? When you want someone to call, they never call. Things happen when you least expect it. It just is the way life is. So every day when you look for rain, it's not going to happen. I have to say, I'm not a panicky person when it comes to this. I love walking outside where I don't need to wear an Alaska suit or be freezing. I love it. You know, look, I had my hat today. I was going to wear this. Don't need it. I mean, I just, look, I have my thermals on underneath. When have you seen me in black under the, I just like the black and gold. You see the way it matches? You think I do things by happenstance, which, by the way, is the word of the day. Happenstance, look it up. Something to happen by chance, happenstance. Wonderful word. So, if you see, let me get up. Black and gold. And actually, a lot of Rocky stuff when I was at the expo last week was black and gold as well, because if you remember your Rocky history, forget about other history. It's not important. They should be teaching this in schools. They should have a class devoted to Rocky history. Rocky 1 was the Philadelphia, really spirit of Philadelphia. It was the red, white, and blue. Remember Apollo Creed, the late, great Carl Weathers came out in his red, white, and blue hat, and it was the year of the independence, 1976. Rocky 3, later on, when he fights Mr. T, it was a black and gold look. He was wearing, Sylvester Stallone was wearing the gold trunks, and it was a whole different look. So, this is the look I have today. Black and gold. But anyway, how you all doing? Did you have a good weekend? Did you enjoy some of this warm weather? I'll tell you, my leg, just to give you an update, my leg is still not good from that race last week. They say running is good for you. Not in this situation, because my leg, I definitely pulled a muscle. It was on that, speaking of Rocky, the Drago Hill. It was a 500-foot, like we talked about it. But I'll continue to talk about it because, let's be honest, I have really nobody to complain to except for you people. So, bear with me. A 500-foot ascent. It was terrible. And I'm feeling the ramifications this week. So my leg is, not the greatest. I'm dealing with it. I'll do the best I can. I still came and did the show. I'm a hero. Forget your firemen, your policemen, your veterans, people serving abroad, keeping our nation safe. I, Funny Man Stevie K, is the true hero in your world. I mean, what would you do from 6:30 to 7:30 if I said, I'm just going to rest my leg today. I'm not going to do a show? Of course, you'd be upset. You'd be, I can't just not show. I'm not that type of guy. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. The real heroes, sure, we love our firemen who have been really working overtime, right? With these, speaking of, I saw the alert on the, those banner signs that they have, Amber Alert signs, that said burn ban effect. I don't know what that means, but it has something to do with the ease with which the leaves, the brush, can catch on fire. Now, this weekend I tried to get the leg going again. I went out for a bike ride. And in the woods, you still smell, when I go on the path or in the woods, on the path, which is through the woods, just like Little Red Riding Hood, I smell, and I don't know if Little Red Riding Hood had this problem, an enormous amount of marijuana smell. I mean, it's just overwhelming. And vaping. So they should be monitoring that, because if that goes up, that's in the middle of a community, so that could get out of control quickly. So I know I don't have a big contingency of teenagers that watch the Steve Square show. They're all out causing mischief and havoc. But here's my public service announcement. Stop it. Okay, you have children on the path, dogs, me. If you don't care about children, and you care less about your friendly neighborhood pet, care about me. Don't make me have to ingest your weed. It's terrible. That is my public service announcement. I don't like to get too political. That's about it. That's where I draw the line. Anyway, what else did I do this weekend? I'm very excited. I put the new license plates on the Cadillac. I got these license plates. They're special Long Island license plates, not the yellow New York or the white Statue of Liberty. No. These won license plate, the ones I've been showing you. They won license plate of the year 2023. And it has the Montauk Lighthouse. It looks great on the car. I put it on this weekend. My one concern is that now I'm a magnet for the police, because they are going to look twice. It almost doesn't look like a real license plate. So I think what I have done is put eyes on me. And I think that could be a problem. But I can't change back now because the DMV knows. And it'll look really suspicious if I keep changing plates every week. That's something they did back in the... that's a Bonnie and Clyde thing, right? When they changed license plates on their cars every 2 minutes. I better not do that. Or I'll be in the old hooskow, as they used to call it. The hooskow. But the plates look terrific. And so it got me thinking. The craftsmanship was fantastic. And I said, that old story. Prisoners make license plates. You make license plates in prison. Now, I wouldn't know this firsthand. Luckily, I have not done time yet. But I looked it up. I went to Google. I couldn't ask any of my friends. Most of them are either haven't served time or are in time, serving time. So I couldn't reach them with their one phone call. So it says on Google that, yes, of course prisoners are still... Who do you think's making license plates? I mean, this is not something you graduate Hofstra and start making license plates. They are... Actually, they named the correctional facility. There's one correctional facility in New York, Auburn Upstate Correctional Facility in New York, and most states, this is what they do. So especially, definitely in New York, they are still making license plates up there. And they said they do this because it provides the inmates with a useful skill. Now, to me, this skill is only useful if you're in prison, because when you come out, there's not a big calling for license plate makers if you're doing it in prison, right? Now, all you need to do is watch Shawshank Redemption. Because if you remember the old man, the older gentleman, who was the librarian, remember? And he finally got his parole, and he was in his 80s or what have you. And he killed himself because he couldn't assimilate to the outside. He was what they call institutionalized. Just like I am with this show. I'm institutionalized. I can't get away from it. It's like gum on a shoe. So he hung himself. He killed himself. I mean, to be blunt, I don't want to give away part of the movie, but if you haven't seen Shawshank by now, you're not seeing it ever, because, I mean, the movie was in the 90s or something like that. Wonderful movie. Morgan Freeman, awesome performance. He was ticked because that year he didn't win the Oscar. They gave it to Tom Hanks, of course, for Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. Forrest. Oh, Jenny. Anyway, so that is what they're doing. So they're making lights of it. So that's not a useful skill. My point is, it's not a useful skill. Let's be honest. You're just letting. That's who else is going to do it? It's like jury duty. I feel like prisoners should do jury duty too. That should be, because who would better to know if someone's guilty or innocent than someone that's been incarcerated, for God's sake? You don't want your little grandma. You don't want, the husband and wife down the block, middle America, mom and pops, or a teenager, a millennial. They don't know crime. They don't know the inner workings of the guilt. You want a criminal on that jury stand. Yes! They'll know. Oh, I've heard that alibi before. I've used it. That's my proposal. You're lucky I'm not running for anything. I'm just running from things. I'm not running for anything. But if I was running for office, these are the things I would institute. I feel like they're good. It says my Dropbox is almost filled. I get notifications. I can't stand it. I'm constantly notified on my phone, on my computer. More space on your phone. Your phone is out of space. Your Dropbox, your Google Drive, your Netflix, it's going up. I mean, stop notifying me already. If I want to be notified, I'll ask you. Okay? Okay. Hey, did anybody catch that hug match between Mike Tyson and what's-his-face, Jake Paul? That was god-awful. First of all, Netflix in all its glory, it produces this fight. Couldn't handle the Wi-Fi ban. They couldn't handle the bandwidth. If you, like myself, I'm sure many of you have this problem, it just buffered for minutes on end. Buffered. They could not handle the bandwidth. I guess it exceeded. They got the money, Netflix, but they didn't really provide a nice, good, usable service to talk to about this. But, okay, so they promote this nonsense. Maybe not to use the word fixed, because that's a taboo word to use. But this definitely had parameters. It definitely had a script. It definitely knew the outcome. This was definitely going to be where someone gets hurt, meaning Mike Tyson. He's almost 60 years old. He looked a mess. And, this was a highly promoted thing. He got $20 million for standing around. And they're like, oh, since 2005. How is he fighting professionally? They used bigger gloves. They used gloves that you would buy, gloves, like clown gloves. They were for softer impact, right? Like Nerf. They were from Nerf. Then it's 2-minute rounds, not 3-minute. And it went 8 rounds. That's not a professional fight. That's like you're playing professional baseball, but it's only 2 innings. They can throw underhand. Come on. This was nothing. You can't, to use the word professional it's outrageous. It's indescribable. It's reckless is what it is. It's reckless. It's irresponsible, because you're giving people the idea that this is going to be some kind of contested professional level fight. And let's be honest, the fight game is in its drudgery. People watch MMA, UFC, they do not watch boxing anymore. This guy, I hand it to this guy. He's been able to stay relevant in the public eye, Mike Tyson, for many years. I mean, he makes cameos in movies. He's got a cartoon, for God's sake, in the mornings. People like this guy. I'm not going to get into it. He's a great fighter. He's not a great guy. I don't know why people can't tell the difference. And we love that nostalgia in the time when Mike Tyson was young and he was knocking everybody out. And yes, he came on the scene and he was an unbelievable destroyer. Knocked everybody out. But this is not a good guy. This guy is mean. He's been convicted. I mean, he's just not a nice man. Uh, you can tell by the interviews. He's just really, no. But that's okay. I mean, he's a fighter and he's grew up in a. We want the best of both worlds. We want our cake and eat it too, meaning we like our fighters to be great, to be personable, like George Foreman or Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard. Yet they're able to go into a brutal sport and stand there and could be killed or kill somebody else. It takes a certain special type of person to do that. You have to have that in you. So you might not be the most articulate, well-spoken, charismatic, funny guy. So whatever, but people, they're all over this guy, especially women, and I don't understand it. I can't understand it. They love this guy. But we know women love danger, right? They love the danger boy, the bad boy, right? I never bit somebody's ear off, right? I have limited convictions. I have spent in an incarceration, speaking of prison. There's a lot of prison talk at the beginning of this show. All of that, right? So I get it. I understand. Bad boy is where it's at. Anyway, the service was terrible. It was just terrible. And then I think I hear something. Now this is what this did. Now Mike Tyson got $20 million. Jake Paul got $40 million. This other loser, this YouTube star, he's another one that's been through drugs and crime. This is another winner. So they had the matchup of winners, quotes. And you know what? Crime and all of this leading a bad, terrible way does pay. We like to say, and I don't want to say that, but a lot of people who are not the best people in the world and who have had wrong past are doing fine financially. They are cashing in, boy. Cashing in. And this guy got $40 million for standing around for 6, and Mike got $20 million for standing around pillow fighting each other. Basically what they should have had was 2 pillows. Remember pillow fighting? That's actually, if you look up pillow fighting on YouTube, I think in Taiwan or in the Asian population, that's actually a sport, pillow fighting. That's fantastic. I could excel at. I was fantastic in the pillow fight world. Now I wonder what type of pillows you're allowed to use. Do you use like some mental case guy, the soft pillow guy? He should cash in on that. He should sponsor that maniac. That's another idiot. And that's another thing. Doesn't pay to just, I think. See? Red flag warning in effect. I'm telling you. It says the risk. The red flag warning for Long Island, New York City, and the lower Hudson Valley are in effect. The warnings are issued when critical fire weather conditions occur or are expected. Strong wind could be the combination for a fire. So I'm telling you, you stupid kids. Hey, Conan O'Brien is going to host the Oscars, the next Oscars. Now that's a good choice. I'm not for award shows. I think they're stupid because I don't get them. If I was nominated, then it would be okay. But other than that, I think they're ridiculous. I hate their speeches. I hate those people. But a host can make the evening a little more palpable. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Kimmel. Let me say it again in case you went away to get a croissant. I am not a fan of Jimmy Kimmel at all, whatsoever. And I am glad that he is not hosting anymore. And Conan is really underrated. He's such a smart guy, right? I think he went to Yale. He started comedy writing for Saturday Night Live. Finally got I remember when he started his talk show, and he was awkward at first. But he's very funny in his way, and really good. I've told you this before. Go on YouTube. He does his. He came to Long Island, the Bethpage Village Restoration. He does some baseball skits. They're very funny. He's a good choice because he just comes across like a regular guy, not Hollywood, like Jimmy Kimmel does. Jimmy Kimmel reeks of Hollywood. So maybe me and Steve would argue on that. I don't know. Steve's not here. But But Conan is a great choice. I think that's finally a good choice. I think he's, that should make the show a little watchable. Like, I'll watch it now, where I wouldn't before. How we doing? We're doing pretty good. Show's just flying by. It's hard to know the timing because it gets 7 o'clock. The Knicks are playing tonight. They've been doing a little better, so I've been switching and pivoting to basketball. I'm starting to get into that basketball feel. Still in the hangover of baseball and still trying to digest what happened. It's over. So now it's kind of into basketball world. And that's how time goes. Like, I'm not a football person. And lucky for me, I'm not, because the Jets and Giants are god-awful. But I'm just not a football person. I'm not that Thanksgiving. I don't care who's singing not the national anthem, the halftime show. It's always Beyonce or Usher or Justin Timberlake. I don't care. Half the time, not half the time, 99% of the time, they're lip singing. It's not real anyway, so what are you going to do? So, I was introduced. I had to watch a little bit of. I didn't have to, but I watched a little bit of Alex Cross. I guess he's the detective from the James Patterson books. So it's been highly promoted on Amazon. Top, you got to watch it. They're really pushing it down your throat. I watched a few minutes of it, and it's funny because it was the last episode of the first season. Okay, so it's the end. Which is episodes, just the last 10 minutes of the first season. And just to see what this mess is all about. And it's that big scene, that's going to leave you a cliffhanger. And the woman's got his kids captured. He's a detective. She's got the kids with rope around them. They're crying. And, hey, ladies and gentlemen, straight from the studios, but right from Burbank. You just flew in. Mr. Mandracina, come on, have a seat. Pull up a chair.
Please, let me just sit.
Have a seat. Come on, look at this. What a treat.
Oh, boy.
If I had an
appointment to be here, Steve.
Now, I was just saying, have you caught Boss on Amazon?
No.
That series, The Detective?
Oh, no, not yet.
You've heard of it, though.
Yes.
Okay, and the guy's probably a great actor. He reminds me a little bit of Idris Elba, but I don't really know him.
No, he's really good. I've seen him in a couple of things.
Yeah, I think he was in NCIS a little bit.
He was in the other one that was based in Boston. The one with Boston with was in it. God, that was good.
So what I was going to say was I just of the first season, and she's got the evil person's got his kids tied up. The kids are crying. The guy that was supposed to be his backup has been shot. Supposedly. And the guy comes in, that's the partner of the woman that's got him captured, and he comes in, he goes, he's dead, your partner's dead. No, of course. So, you came in at a perfect time because you could speak to this better than me. Standing soliloquies before they murder somebody to give time to get out of the situation. And it goes from Batman's, right? The Riddler would always talk for an hour.
Right.
And they never kill. He lowered in a pit very slowly, and there's time to undo yourself or get the woman's foot in your face. They give people time. Nobody gets time in real life. You just get shot and killed.
They did a joke on that in Austin Powers.
Right.
And Scott the son goes, look, I got a gun. I'll go there. I'll just whack him off right now.
Right.
No, you just don't understand.
No, it's very slow. And it even goes back to, silent movies.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're tying them on the train tracks. Exactly. It's always time.
And when they had the serialized shorts.
Right.
And that's it. That's why they would do that. And then you'd have to come back.
They just looked in at the Google Live.
You have to come back.
Well,
next week. You have to come back next week.
Right. So cliffhanger, and that I get it. That's TV, but and the Batmans are forever like that. The Batman and Robins, right? Whatever the Jiggler. I meant the Jiggler, the Joker, or the Riddler. I made up a new.
Are you afraid of the Jiggler?
I'm afraid of the Jiggler.
You should pitch that. You could be the Jiggler.
I could be the Jiggler. Oh, Jiggler.
Definitely be a plus after being the Anchorman in Night of the Living Dead. I mean, come on.
The Jiggler.
This is a meaty role for you.
I had a great idea. I'm talking with my mom, and we're this is gold. You'll appreciate this.
Okay.
I have a commercial idea, and you could give it to your people, or we could give it to Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
But this is gold, Jerry. It's a Night of the Living Dead. They're coming like this. And they either have a choice. There's the people hovering in the house scared, human flesh, what they need. Or then they look this way and it's a Dunkin' Donuts. And they go and the next scene is them drinking Dunkin' Donuts and they're like happy zombies.
You know, I would like that.
Wouldn't that be funny?
That would definitely be a good. I know Dunkin' Donuts has a much better sense of humor than Starbucks
I
does.
think Starbucks wouldn't do anything. They don't make fun of themselves.
Everything is feel.
Starbucks commercials.
Oh, they are. They're very subtle. Most of them don't even have any words in it. They just have pictures and sounds.
Right.
But
a Dunkin', that struck me more like a Dunkin'. That's a more comical. Right?
You should get that started for Halloween for next Halloween. That would be
who do we know? Who do you know at Dunkin'? You know everyone. Who runs Dunkin'? Or are they all individually?
A huge conglomerate. Well, yeah, it's like a.
Well, it's all franchise, but
the same people that bring you Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings and all that food.
I love Arby's.
Let me tell you, Steve, I was a bad boy tonight.
What did you have?
Chicken cutlets.
From?
Home.
Oh, okay.
Fried chicken cutlets. So good. Come on, Steve, you know that's good.
Who made them?
My mother.
Oh, these were home cooked?
Yes.
Oh, so then, I always say if it's home cooked, at least it's a little better. It's not getting it at a fast food restaurant.
Then what I had with it, though.
Oh, what'd you have with it?
Kraft macaroni and cheese. So good.
Now, I'm glad you brought up Kraft.
Uh-oh.
No.
Do you have a beef?
Well, I don't have a beef. It's news. Not Newsday. This is news. Well, let me see if I can find it since you brought it up. Hey, speaking of Blue Bloods.
I didn't even set you up for that. That's
you did.
crazy.
That was fantastic,
Look at that.
but I gotta find it.
Got that news.
Let me find it. Where is it? Oh, so much stuff here today.
No.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, well, that's not macaroni and cheese, but
No.
yes, it's the Lunchables.
Yeah, the Kraft is
They're,
stopping to sell Lunchables.
School design Lunchables. They say that a lot of those school design Lunchables that they make specifically for school use is even worse for you than the ones that they sell in the supermarket.
That is true.
Believe it or not, which is crazy.
It's higher sodium contents because, let's be honest, kids love salt. Who does? Or sugar. They should make it higher in sugar. I would think sugar. But that's what kids need more of. Now, are you enjoying the warm weather? It's wonderful. Even though they're talking about, brush fires.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been all right. I mean, I've had warmer than this.
There's a red flag warning, in fact.
Red flag.
Hey, did you hear about the whale at Jones Beach?
There's a whale at Jones Beach?
It sounds like a joke, but it's not. Field 10. A whale got into Field 10. That's the Bayside, and by the fishing tackle.
Oh, wow.
And there's a whale over there, and they called it Jonesy, obviously.
Of course. Is he alive?
Yes. Yeah, they're trying to work it to get it freed, and they want to free the whale. Free Willie.
Free Jonesy.
Free Jonesy. Free Jonesy.
Weren't you in a movie called Free Jonesy?
It
was a sequel to Free Willie.
It was. I was in. I had a small part. I was the anchorman.
Very, very small.
I was the anchorman again in Free Jonesy.
You were small Jonesy.
I'm always typecast. I'm always the anchorman.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Are you excited about the new stamp? It says
Betty
here
White stamp?
A Betty White stamp. Let me show this. Now I don't know if this is the stamp. Is this the way the stamp's going to look?
No,
probably not.
That's just a picture.
That's just a picture. So Betty White's getting a stamp.
Yeah, I know.
What are you going to know to be on a stamp?
Alan Ludden.
Oh, she was married to Alan.
Is
he on a stamp?
I don't know. No, he's not.
That's ridiculous.
I said, who do you have to know? That's it. Aristophanes. Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, Betty White's getting it. Does it say when it's coming out, or is it for the holidays, or no?
No, 2025. 2025. It'll be a forever stamp, which means once you buy it, it doesn't have a price on the stamp, so you can use it.
Oh, okay. So
forever.
what are stamps now, or how much? Is it? They still have
Are they 30 something?
They're getting
cents
up there.
now? I don't know.
stamps are getting up
Hey
there.
Siri, how much is a U.S. stamp?
I like that she's annoying.
How much is a U.S. stamp? Oh, she's not giving me anything.
Nothing.
It's like, I don't know.
Did you notice? And I don't know if you did. You see the black and gold governor's sign?
Yeah.
Did you notice my black and gold? Very matchy.
Well, you.
I'm starting with the thermal look again. I've been cold, even though it's not.
You're so thin-skinned
It's
because
thin.
you run.
Well, that could-
you don't eat any fat. Your like body
Now,
is like.
I've been telling you, I pulled a muscle from that run. I've been in bad shape this week. Yeah, right in the leg.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's not been a good week for me. I've been hobbling around. It's terrible. You know. Now, speaking of which, how are you feeling, Mr. Fitness, Mr. Jack
I
LaLanne?
don't feel like Mr. Fitness. I'm slacking.
This
Steve.
week was a little tough.
Yeah, I'm really craving stuff. I had a bagel again, and it was so good. You don't understand. It was so good,
I
Steve.
understand.
It was a good cinnamon bagel. I didn't even use all the good cream cheese, just a little
Good.
cream cheese.
And did you have the whole or half a bagel?
I had the whole thing,
All right.
and I slowly ate it. It was
Well,
so good.
You know,
I enjoyed every
but
minute
don't
of
let
it.
that turn. Don't let that defeat you. Keep pushing forward. Jack would say, "Keep going."
You know, I almost feel guilty. I feel like your couple, your famous couple that you trained, and they couldn't
Oh,
figure,
sure.
and you gave
Oh.
them, you worked them out so hard. Do you
Yes.
remember that? You worked.
I forget
this
their
guy.
names. A very Italian couple.
Yes, you worked them out so hard, and then they came to you one night. They said, "Why aren't we losing any weight?"
And I'll
And
tell
they
you
kind of
what.
blamed it on you.
They kind of
And
did,
then,
and I
and
said,
then you
"Well, you're
asked them what you
their pre-meal work. Their pre-meal before their workout was chicken parm. They used to come with sauce on his shirt, tripling. So I said, "You want to know why? You look at your shirt. You got half your dinner on your shirt." Wicked. Are you excited? Look at this. Look at all the bling for Wicked.
Oh my God!
It's right. I mean, this is. Good.
I know.
Look
I
at
see it every day at work.
Oh, what does?
Oh, they got lots of stuff at Starbucks.
Oh, they're really doing this.
A lot of cups, different cups.
Oh, Wicked Cup. See,
Yes.
it says here. Now they got some stuff here. Fans of the movie can be pretty in pink and green with an array of items. You can get the pumps, these shoes.
Yes.
They look nice. I like these shoes. Little stilettos. $150. That's not bad. I think for a woman to want to get that. What else? What else would I buy? And these are good. Oh, they have Wicked Monopoly. Monopoly. The Wicked Witch of the West wish list.
Wicked Crocs.
Wicked Crocs. Oh, I don't like that. That's not a good look.
The Wicked Stanley.
What's that? Oh, like
Stanley
a,
Cup.
Oh, like
Those
a Stanley
are-
Cup.
those
Yeah.
are- yeah.
Water. They have an Elphaba Barbie.
Uh-huh.
They have little outfits, soap dish. Oh, a clutch bag. All right, so they got some.
You heard about
Merch?
You heard about the Barbie dolls, the Wicked Barbie dolls. What happened?
I heard something. What happened?
Supposedly
There was a mistake?
there was a mistake, and the website they had on there led you to a
Pornographic site. I believe it says that here somewhere, or maybe it was a different. Yeah, but was it a mistake?
I don't know, Steve. Well, what would you say?
I would, because I'm a big fan of the Pamela Anderson movie Barb, the barbed wire. So that's where I draw the line.
I met Pam Anderson.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Where?
In California.
Like met her, or you like?
Yeah, I met her.
At what function were you at?
I was at a Baywatch function. I interviewed her.
Really?
Yes.
And how was she?
She's very nice.
I would say that. Yeah.
And very funny.
Yeah.
Yes. And I even spent more time interviewing the Hoff.
Really?
Yes.
David?
David Hasselhoff.
That's do you believe? I've known this guy a long time, and he never ceases to surprise me. David Hasselhoff. Did he speak in German to you or English?
No, he spoke in English. I don't know if he knows German. The Germans do love him, though.
Well, he knows German because he spoke it in. I don't know if he does, but he spoke it in dodgeball when he's in. And he yells at them in German.
Yes, you're right. I forgot about
But that was a sentence. But how? Wow. How was he?
Very nice.
Like how long an interview? Like a real regular
maybe
interview?
maybe we went about 10 or 15 minutes.
Wow, that's long for that they gave you when for.
Well, it was a junket. It was a
Yeah,
junket
like a
for
press.
for I think it was Baywatch's 100th episode or something like that.
And you were with the Current Affair?
Yes.
You should have still been with them.
They've
They're not
been
good.
off the air for 30 years now, Steve.
You see, this is how much I watch TV. Anyway, that's fantastic. What else? So, what do you think this Friday? If you were going to see a movie, are you going to see Wicked, or are you going to see Gladiator 2? What are you more tempted to see?
I don't know.
Or neither? You just have no appetite for either. You'll wait till it.
Now, I'm very cynical about Wicked because what they did was they split the movie in
into
half.
Ted 2, right?
So, that's it.
It's
Yeah,
all
really.
about the cachet.
You
Sure.
So I don't feel like
They should have made it a TV series.
Gladiator.
I'm not looking. I don't.
Gladiator 2.
That doesn't look good. Not that it doesn't look good.
But it's Denzel. Come on, I know. You're like in the church
I
of
am,
Denzel.
exactly.
You were totally in the church of Denzel.
Yeah, hold on now. All right. Yeah. All right.
I apologize.
No problem. It's all
That was
good.
my fault.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
Do you think he's going to do that in
I think
Roman
he's gonna
times?
do the Roman times. Okay, yeah, let's get it on. All right, yeah, right. It's okay. Yeah, I don't like. Okay, yeah, not bad. I like that. Gladiator Rock didn't land on us. We landed on Gladiator Rock. So he will be in Gladiator 2 along with Paul Mescal. He's playing whatever. It's hard. I like the Russell Crowe and Phoenix in the original, and it's just going to be more of guys in robes. How much guys in robes can you wear? I mean, what? I've seen enough guys in Gladiator. You like Gladiator movies, Bobby?
I mean, really. I mean, look, I'm not a robe guy. You're not either. I know you're
I'm not a robe guy.
You know what that would mean?
It would be terrible.
It would mean you would have to like wear, perfumes and
Lotion,
It's the whole thing. It's a whole.
I'd have to get a mustache. It would be a whole new lifestyle. You couldn't be friends with me anymore. I'd have to get a whole new array of friends. It's just not a good idea. I don't think I'll do it. This is something I wanted to ask your opinion on. Did you know this radio host? So after Len Berman and show got canceled.
Yes.
And this is on WORA.
Yes.
And they've just
Lisa G, who's been around. She's been around New York radio.
She's
for
a
long
Hofstra
time.
grad.
Yeah.
I was reading.
I believe was she. I don't know if I met her.
I was going to
don't know
wonder
if I did.
she did Stern. She worked with Howard Stern for many years. She was on
Was she on
BAB.
VH1? Did they say she was on VH1?
It didn't say VH1.
Okay.
It just had her radio stuff.
Okay.
It said, she was on BAB, long career, blah blah blah.
But that's what's going on in radio today, and the company that owns WOR is iHeartRadio, and they're in big trouble, and they're just laying people off all over.
I mean, they were just promoting the heck out of the Len Berman. It was on every all through the Newsday, and they two guys hugging each other. Who was he with? Len Berman.
They were at the marathon. They were covering the marathon.
Right. Done. A week later. See ya.
A couple of days later.
I know. It's crazy. And now, Lisa G, and I'm sure that she's not the only one. She's probably...
Well, I mean, in New York, it's a little less, because a lot of the people in the big markets like New York and Los Angeles at these iHeart radio stations, they also get paid to do other things. They voice track other radio stations owned by iHeartRadio, like all throughout the country. So they're doing that also. So it's the middle of the country that's going to get a lot more people are going to get laid off.
Yeah.
And I love Len Berman. 77. I would like to see him again. He's very, he's always interesting. He's a nice guy. He's from Port Washington. Spent a lot of time over there.
I haven't in a while, but
hang
yes.
out there with your old buddy Burt Young. Remember, he used to walk through the streets.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Burt Young. He was from Port Washington.
Yeah.
Now, did you get to see? I talked about it earlier. Any of the Mike Tyson fight?
So it was on Friday night.
And I used the word fight.
I was doing my radio show Friday night.
Oh, that's right.
And someone called me.
And I heard some of it. I listened to the Hall & Oates. I missed you said about me, which I appreciate. Thank you. But I caught Hall & Oates. I caught She's Such a Guy, or what was the song I was listening to? I forget the name. I have it on my text.
She's Such a Guy?
No, it's the title's wrong. But I did hear Hall & Oates.
Mm-hmm.
You played a little H&L.
But yeah, someone called me asking me if I was going to, they want to, actually, they originally requested Gonna Fly now for the fight. And he said, you going to watch the fight? I said, I am not going to watch this stupid, ridiculous fight. It's just insane. So I come home, and guess what my parents have on? They have Netflix on. And my dad's complaining, this thing's not going to be on for another hour and a half.
Yeah, they didn't fight till 11:15 or whatever. They had a lot of other fights.
It was later than that, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And, it was just like ridiculous. But, and the cover and the technical.
Well, with the buffering.
See, I didn't want to watch in the living room with them. I went into my room to watch on the computer, but it kept
terrible.
on falling off. Kept on bouncing.
That was a huge thing. Now, why did Netflix? Did they not have the bandwidth? Did they not anticipate the usage? Why would that happen for somebody like Netflix?
They probably didn't anticipate it. Everyone loves to poo-poo television, network television, but network television could still do that with no problems whatsoever, and no one would have an issue. I will say,
yes.
Kudos to great color commentary by Rosie Perez.
Oh, sure.
Yes, what do you think of that?
Well, if anybody knows fighting, it's Rosie Perez. Well,
How do you feel about that? So I was annoyed that I was going to watch even some of it. And, granted, I think, Tyson, got 20 million?
20.
Okay.
And what does the other guy do? Why is he famous? Well, I still don't know. I know he's a YouTuber.
He's an influencer. You got to become an influencer, and you could do crazy stuff like that.
So what does he do? Light himself on fire? What does he do to become an influencer? Who is he influencing?
He does anything.
And him and his brother, right? He has a brother?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's Jake Paul, and his brother's Logan Paul or something like that. They're brothers.
Yeah.
Like the State Farm brothers.
Yeah. State Farm? They are brothers on State Farm?
Don't they have the brothers on State Farm?
No.
I thought it was, I don't know. But, so he got $40 million for 16 minutes to dance around with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. There's people, and money's just flowing to these morons. Morons! And poor Len Berman can't get a job. They won't pay him $20,000 a year, or her, but they'll give this idiot on YouTube $40 million.
Not Lisa G, not Len Berman.
But Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, yes.
$40 million.
But you did get to see Mike Tyson's bare butt.
That was worth it.
That was a show.
That was a show. That was a little. I don't know why Netflix did that, or why he did that. But did you? You didn't have anything where you ever met Mike Tyson, right? Never in a.
I've never met Mike Tyson. No.
Never.
Yeah, I love how you always said to check with me.
Because you meet all these people, and you've been around.
If I know Pam Anderson, if I met Pam Anderson,
why not Mike Tyson?
And the Hoff, why not?
Right.
Why not Tyson?
And I just, how has he been able to stay so relevant or in the public eye with cameos in movies and the cartoon shows and the podcasts?
Well, I mean,
it's
all very tongue in cheek. I mean,
right, but he's been able to be out there.
Well, I think he's got people working for him. I think he works hard at it because he still has, I think, some issues, family issues going on and whatever, and money issues. So I think he needs.
Well, how could he have money issues? He just made $20 million in one night.
Well,
not that he's doing that every night.
I don't know how much money he's he might be in for or whatever.
If we made $20 million in one night, would that solve some of your money issues?
Oh God, yeah.
Would you be able to get out from under?
Oh yeah.
As they say.
I quit this fucking show. Right? I'm so sorry.
Oh my God! Nobody's watching anyway. What are you worried about? Nobody's watching. Did you say?
I was kidding with that.
And you yell at me when I curse.
I know. Can you believe that? I'm so
dropping the F-bomb on the Steve Squid. We're a family-friendly show.
I am so sorry.
I have children watching. I personally have children.
You know,
I hope not.
I apologize to Steve's family. I don't.
Oh, the family's watching. Nah, they didn't hear. They probably went out to get a soda.
Did they really?
At usually around this time they get something to eat. They usually take a break.
But I usually get a review from.
Yeah, they're always they love you. You're very loved.
I just
you might have lost a couple of fans. John Krasinski gets Sexiest Man Alive.
Is that so?
Yeah. What do you think about that? You like him, right?
He's jacked. Yeah, I mean, he's not Jim Halpert.
He's not Jim Halpert anymore.
No, once he started doing the Jack Ryan movies, he was like,
So, and Eminem is on the Songwriters Hall nominated for a Hall of Fame.
All right, I'll take that.
Along with Boy George.
Okay.
George Clinton, which is Bill's brother.
No.
Oh, no.
And I met George Clinton also.
This is George Clinton?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
He's a country singer?
No, he's a funk guy.
Oh, right.
We got the funk. You know how we met him?
I have no idea.
So I was working at Borders in Farmingdale. And
the Borders days.
And George Clinton was doing a couple of nights at a little place. You may not know it, Steve. It's called the Crazy Donkey.
Oh, of course.
We did a couple of dates there.
Who doesn't know the Crazy Donkey?
One of the people we worked with, said, "Why don't I go down there and find out if he'll come in and make an appearance?" And he did. He came in, signed his albums.
That is really cool, George Clinton.
He smelled a little toasty.
I bet he did.
He was a little,
He's an artist. Sheryl Crow, Janet Jackson.
There you go.
Did she write music? Like songs?
I guess so.
These are songwriters. The Doobie Brothers, NWA, if you like them.
What's that?
I don't know. And Alanis Morissette, the angry female.
That one album.
Ironic.
Oh, yes.
Are among the nominees. Now, I watched, speaking of music, I was telling my mom this. She watched this. She was very excited. Netflix dropped this great documentary on Elvis, The Return of the King. And she's seen everything on Elvis. But I didn't think she had seen this. It was a new thing. And it was really good. They had interviews from, what's his face, Billy Corgan?
Mm-hmm.
From Smashing Pumpkins?
Right. Billy Corgan.
From the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen gave great commentary on it. Priscilla, better known to you and me as from the Files of Police Squad, Naked Gun. To me, that's what she'll be famous for. Not marrying. She was great in those. Don't you think she was? I mean, okay.
She was a straight man.
But I think she played it well.
Yes.
And she had some real good comic timing.
Yeah.
Like, she was pretty good.
Yes.
Yes, she did other things other than that. I mean, but you gotta. I don't know if you're an Elvis fan or if your parents are Elvis fans, but this was really good.
Yeah.
It really talked about the led up to the comeback special, and how nervous he was, and how he had to get into shape. He started getting out of shape because this was the '68 comeback special.
Right.
And really, he was out of the public eye. Like, not out of the public eye, but really since he returned from the Army.
Well, he was in the Army. He was always doing movies. He's doing movies
but that's what
every year.
This is what I'm saying. When he got back to the Army, he wasn't doing music really per se. He was doing these hokey movies.
But with music,
he always had a
music.
He always had, right, Blue Hawaii, but they were corny. So this showed him that he could still get back into a front of a live audience and have it, even though it was '68 when you're talking about Stones and all the stuff was really. He was good. And that led him to go on he went on a huge tour.
Right.
And because of Colonel Tom, and you probably know this, and the director of Elvis also gave great commentary, Baz Luhrmann. He was really good. He knew everything about everything, and he was talking about Colonel Tom and all this stuff, better known to us as Tom Hanks. But they were talking about, this bad contract that Elvis was in and how depressed he was, and they had threatened him. He said finally he didn't want to do. He wasn't going to do any more on MGM. And Colonel Tom said, "Then you will never perform. You will never. We will make sure you'll never do another
Right.
thing." So we had to do it.
This guy was a
A carny.
And you know what the funny thing is?
But at the end of the day, would Elvis have been Elvis if not for this guy? So you know what I'm saying? It's kind of
This
like
this is crazy. You know,
It's the same thing with these horrible people like Ike Turner or the other one, Michael Jackson's
and
dad.
here's the crazy thing: when Hanks was doing this movie, Elvis, him and Rita Wilson had lunch with Priscilla, during the filming of the movie, and they were shocked to say that we love the Colonel. She said, "We love the Colonel." That
Wait, they met him? No.
No, Priscilla. They had lunch with Priscilla, and they were talking, and she didn't say anything bad about the Colonel.
Oh, really?
It was because there's a lot of bad things to say about the Colonel.
Who knows what kind of situation she's in.
But
to not-
he was a guy who was an illegal alien,
Right.
and
That's why Elvis
that's why he never
toured.
left. Because if he did, he would never
Come back.
Never come back.
And, Elvis never really toured internationally. He really just played, he got stuck in Vegas. He played Vegas a lot.
Vegas is not international.
No, but I'm saying he never could play. He never played around the country. Around the world.
No, just the country.
Just the country. And the country was later on. He really just had the Vegas thing that the Colonel put him in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the end that he came to Coliseum and Madison Square Garden in the 70s. It was only a year or two before he died.
Oh, yeah.
He did the Coliseum, I think it was 74, 75,
Yeah,
and he died.
and then he was supposed to do one more day, I think a month
Right.
after he died.
And then he died.
Yeah.
42.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So
Do you think if you were his trainer, do you think you could have helped him out?
I could have helped
You
Elvis.
could have. Get off of that stuff.
You don't need it. You're the king. You're the king. You don't need it. I would have looked at him just like that. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. So, but it was, for whatever. But it's sad because, and Billy Corgan,
Billy Corgan.
I love listening to him. His interviews on Howard Stern were
Right.
so good. He had a really troubled youth. His
Yes.
father was really mean to him.
Yeah.
Terrible. But he's so good to hear him speak. And he was saying the real disappointment is people didn't really realize how good Elvis was, and he got put into this kind of caricature
Right.
of the movies and silliness. But he said he was really good, and you wanted more of that night, the '68 special.
Yeah. God.
And it was cool because it was just that intimate, him just with, they brought him back with the old band.
Colonel Tom didn't like what they did on that.
No.
They kind of played it up in the Lerman movie, but the truth was, it wasn't totally like that. Of course, they didn't have television doesn't work like that. That they had the Christmas scene already.
Yeah.
No, that was
Right. But they were at battles because he wanted to keep it, and they had lots of hokey skits.
Right.
It was almost trying to make it a variety show,
Yeah.
and he just wanted to have, so it was this pull and yang, yin and yang type of thing.
That's just probably one of the best television specials.
They said it.
ever.
It was almost 50. The numbers were off the charts.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they have repeated something like that?
Well, because Colonel Tom had a pull on him.
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't going to, he didn't have a lot of control, and Elvis kind of took the side of the director and the ideas they had. It worked. I mean, God, Elvis never looked that good. And God, I don't think Elvis looked that good before or after.
No, definitely not after.
That was an amazing comeback.
No,
and then it's just so sad what happened afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, he went the wayside, but I mean, it was interesting. You should watch it. It was on Netflix. Really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Google Dolls are coming to Jones Beach. Did you know this? Are you a Google Dolls fan? Or
Yeah, I'm all right, but they come there a lot.
Do they?
Yes,
I
they
haven't
do.
thought they did.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
But there's a reason. They're doing some. That's why I was picking this out. They're doing some with the Joe Torre Safe at Home program.
Oh, nice.
So they're doing this whole thing, which is about abuse at home that Joe
Mhm.
Torre had set up many, many moons ago, back in 2002.
Right.
And so the Google Dolls are partnering with Joe Torre, and they're going to do this type of thing. And actually, one of the Google Dolls is going to be replacing Rizzo at first next season. I thought that I didn't know yet. They didn't sign the deal, but that could come up. I wasn't sure that he could play.
Well, who knows?
He's going to DH.
Who knows?
Oh, well, let me get...
You might get lucky and got Alonso as your first baseman.
That's not happening.
I
happening.
don't know.
I don't want that, and that's not happening.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure. And not because he's a Met, because I feel like
I think he's
a little on the back nine. I think it's turning. And I'm tired of the Yankees. I want them to stay young. I'm tired of them getting these guys that are here and just going over the place. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he's still got another season or two of good baseball left.
Yeah.
You know, and he takes a lot of heat from. I thought he takes a lot from Met fans. No, does he?
Yeah, a lot of Met fans do. But I
would you say the consensus from Met fans is to move on from him?
I think they need to keep him. He should be a lifetime Met because he's a good number one. He's a good player. All right. Would you like to see him do better? Of course, but he loves New York. He loves being a Met,
right?
And he wants to stay a Met.
Guys. I agree.
Now the question is, is Steve Cohen going to be willing to give him the money? And who knows? Maybe Mr. Boris will, say, well, keep Pete around, and you can put a good word for Mr. Soto.
Oh, well, yeah. We don't know what the back door.
Now if that happens, Steve, I'm just thinking about what would the ramifications be? Would be unprecedented.
Well, I'll give you a little intel.
And first thing, I don't know for any team if all that to pay a player, no matter how good you are, that money, $600 million plus.
It's plus.
Is worth it.
And the numbers.
And if someone
he said Boris said the numbers want to be more closer to 7. He wants to exceed the Ohtani contract.
Oh, Boris does. He's 72 years old. He needs
more money.
Boris needs to get.
He hasn't been paid enough from his clients over the years?
Well, you see, the deal is you only get paid when the player gets paid. So Tony is on deferred.
He's not making that money.
You see,
don't cry for Boris. So he's been the agent to anybody that has a baseball club, pretty much.
Soto might be. He's 70-something years old. Soto might be his last. I think he sees Soto as possibly his last big payday.
Sure.
And after last year, he had a little rough time. If some of these.
Yeah. Because a lot of these
owners said
they were kind of backing off of deals.
I mean, and not because of him as much as your players aren't that good. That guy's spend that much money.
I think it's about, are you putting your whole thing in one guy?
Right.
Or do you feel with that money you could field 9 more guys?
I know.
It's hard. It's not like basketball where Michael Jordan could be such an impact player. Baseball is, baseball, it's hard if you put it all on one guy. And if that guy gets hurt, then what do? I mean, the year Judge got hurt, it was a hard year.
Yes, it was.
2 years ago. You want... I much liked, and the way the Yankees assimilated this year. It was spread. They had a lot of good players. We'll see what they do. I'm in Knicks mode now. I was watching Knicks games. I like the way the Knicks are looking. It's early.
Okay.
Not panicking.
No, it's all right.
I like Cat. I call him Cat.
You do.
Yeah, I feel like I can call him Cat now.
You two are like that.
Oh, sure. You know that. I call him Cat, Carl Anthony Town. I just want to say this quick. Friday, November 22nd, which is this Friday, Bethpage Turkey Drive.
Oh.
It says here, make a difference. You go to the Bethpage Federal Credit Union, and you could donate turkeys. Now, I'm guessing these are not live turkeys. You don't bring down a live turkey. They say here frozen. Frozen turkey.
Fair enough.
You like turkey at Thanksgiving?
I do like turkey. I like turkey all year round. I could eat turkey all year.
You sound like Adam Sandler in this movie.
Yes,
in that song, right? I like turkey and the turkey like.
Look at that. Bethpage. I like the Bethpage. I'm a member of the Bethpage Credit Union.
Yes, very good.
And I love those guys. That's where all the money is.
That is where all the money is.
Yeah,
Banks always keep the money. I got just enough time, not really, but I'll read this quick. I got about a minute.
Oh.
It's a Dear Eric, and I thought it was humorous.
Oh, Dear Eric has become your new nemesis now.
Oh, yeah, I don't like him. He is a nemesis to me, but this one's funny. He never gives good response. He always gives on the line. He gives both sides. He goes, you could do this or you could do that. He's not committed.
No,
He
not
has
like
no
Amy.
convictions.
Amy even had a
No.
no.
My husband and I, is Delilah still on the radio?
I believe so, of course.
I hope she doesn't get. I hope she doesn't get canned.
No, she won't. She's a very
Are you a Meatloaf fan? I saw this nice thing on Meatloaf the other night. Not the food, the performer.
I like some of Meatloaf. Yes.
Yeah, you like a little Meatloaf?
Yes.
I like a little. I'm talking Meatloaf to perform. My husband and I have been married for more than 50 years, and we have recently retired. Very nice. I was looking forward to the free time to do more things together that we had been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We have always been friends as well as spouses. That's nice. It's important. But it seemed almost immediately that my husband made a bucket list and started doing things he wanted to do by himself.
Oh, well, that's not good.
This includes extreme sports. Almost like he's trying to kill himself. No, I jumping off buildings without a bungee cord. I don't understand why he's doing these things.
Says a lot.
It does. Maybe he doesn't think they were best friends. She does. So the wife's always the last to know. Just watch the Beverly Hills Wives of 90210. This includes extreme sports, which require a great deal of training time and lessons. Then there are trips to execute the sports. Whitewater rafting is an example.
Oh my God!
Where I wanted to go with him and found myself pushed off the raft by him.
What? He pushed her?
We live in the desert, and I can't swim, so I can't join in these activities. I'm happy he's happy, but I'm thinking he's being a little selfish.
You think so?
I'm also feeling a little left out.
Why is he pushing her out of the boat?
Well, Steve, 50 years of marriage, and you have to do everything with her?
50 years? How old are they?
They're probably in their 70s. They probably got married young, you know.
And they're in the white.
Whitewater rafting, it's fantastic. Good shape for this guy.
Jeez.
He put in 50 years of time. That's like putting in time. And now he's released. It's like he just got out of prison. Right? 50 years. I want to smell the air. Oh no, I got to sit at home and we have to go for coffee every morning. No. Let him live. Let him be. 50 years he supported you. Now you're going to handcuff him?
What does dear Eric say?
She says, am I just being silly? And does he understand why I feel left out? Eric says, you're not being silly. Of course he says that. You don't want me to answer. You are. I would say you're the one being selfish. You're not being silly. Your husband strapped on a life jacket and took off across the desert like the cartoon Roadrunner, he says.
Whoa.
It's no wonder you're feeling left out. Let's chalk this up to, I don't know this word, unideal, time management, unideal, unideal. Is that a word?
Unideal?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Is that a word?
Yes.
Eric's making up words. Time management and a zeal for this new phase of life. It's great that he's exploring new hobbies, but without a list of shared plans, your emotional bucket is going to feel empty. Leave this man alone. Can't he have a little time to himself? And finally, on the health segment, go to the mat for pain. It says if you have lower back pain, yoga's the answer.
Unideal means lacking ideals or ideal qualities, or deficient in idealism.
That's what I am. That sounds like me.
Okay, go ahead.
7 foods you should never ingest raw. This is the last thing, then we're closing shop. I wanted to make sure people are not eating this raw. 7 foods you should not eat raw. Let's see if you can guess any of them.
Fish.
Oh, I think you can eat fish raw. Of course. Tom Hanks did in Castaway.
Eggs.
No eggs. Doesn't say eggs. Rocky did. You're naming things from great movies.
I know. Beef.
Ground beef should never be eaten, and for good reason. Ask McDonald's. E. coli.
Well, that wasn't the beef. It was
The onions.
It was the slivered onions.
The slivered onions. I love how they had to put slivered. Anything else that you shouldn't eat or ingest raw?
I don't know.
I'll do this quick. It says flour. Like raw flour.
I mean cookie dough then. Cold,
Right.
raw cookie dough.
Poultry. Shouldn't eat raw chicken legs.
Oh, definitely. No, that's so good. That's a.
Kidney beans. Shouldn't eat raw kidney beans.
Yeah.
It says the risk of eating raw or undercooked kidney beans is not common knowledge. It's food poisoning like symptoms from just a few raw beans. Milk should be pasteurized. Do not eat raw. People like raw milk. It should be pasteurized.
Oh, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says otherwise.
Well, just ask the Amish. They're big on the milk. They know milk. Lima beans, again with the beans. And finally, cassava, or called yucca, is a root vegetable that you should not eat raw. I would throw pork in there too. Can't you get a tapeworm from eating raw pork?
I would think so.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you shouldn't eat raw. That'll do it. We're 6 minutes over. Anyway, who's counting anyway? You're probably watching the next show anyway, if they are. Thanks for stopping by, bud.
Thank you.
And don't be discouraged. Turn that frown upside down. It's hard to tell anyway. You got a big beard. You see the way I shave? Nice, right?
Nice and clean. I like that.
Clean.
Nice and soft. Yeah.
Nice and soft and clean. For myself, Funny Man CBK, the new Svelte, the Emster, looking great. Don't stop with the face. Always positive. That's how we end the show. Positive. From an unloading location tonight. Next week, there's a chance we have a guest on the Tonight Show, on the Steve Squared Show. Anyway.